All right, I'm going to be talking about function inverses at a fairly advanced level. Steps are already available. And the inverse of a function is essentially its undo. What you do is if it's f of x, you replace f of x with y equals, switch x and y, solve for y, and replace y equals with f inverse of x. Now, one thing to keep in mind about domains. The domain of one is the range of the other. So the domain of the function is the range of f of the inverse. The domain of the inverse is the range of f of x. Okay? With range, though, you use y's. So we're going to start with this example. F of x equals 23x plus 19 over 35x minus 41. We're going to find the inverse of f inverse. We're going to find f inverse of x and the domain and range of both. So here goes. I'll start by making this y equals 23x plus 19 over 35x minus 41. Okay? And then we're going to switch x and y. So x equals 35y plus 19, 23y plus 19 over 35y minus 41. Okay? Solve for y, and we'll start by clearing the fractions. Clear fraction. So that's the LCD. We'll multiply x by the LCD and the fraction by the LCD. All right. So, cancel, and we end up with 35xy minus 41x equals 23y plus 19. Okay? What we want to do next is bring y to one side and isolate. Bring y to one side and isolate. So, I got y's on both sides. I'll subtract it from this one. Okay? This is equivalent to subtracting from 35xy. So that's how we'll treat it. Minus 41x. Leave the space here because you're going to need it. Okay? I forgot the 41x. All right. Next up, you're going to want to isolate the y term, so we will add 41x back. So we end up with 35xy minus 23y equals 41x plus 19. Okay? Now we're going to factor out y. And then divide. So factor y out of these two terms, I end up with 35x minus 23. This is 41x plus 19. Divide. So y will equal 41x plus 19 over 35x minus 23. Final adjustment, f inverse. And there we go. Okay, part B. Domain. Remember that denominators cannot equal 0. The denominator cannot equal 0. So for f of x, the original f of x, 35x minus 41 cannot equal 0. Okay, so we add 41 to both sides. 35x cannot equal 41. Divide off the 35. And x cannot equal 41 35ths. So the domain of f of x, x cannot equal 41 35ths. Range, f inverse of x, y cannot equal 41 35ths. That's a y. Okay? Okay, so for domain of f inverse of x, for the domain of f inverse of x, 35x minus 23 cannot equal 0. Okay? So add your 23. 35x cannot equal 23. Divide off the 35, divide off the 35. X cannot equal 23 35ths. Okay? Range of f of x. Range of f of x would be y cannot equal 23 35ths. Okay? These are the four things that we're asked for. All right? These are the four things that we're asked for. In a moment, I'm going to put a second example on the board. Okay. So, I have a second function here on the board. And here's the graph of f of x. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, given the graph of f of x, sketch f inverse of x. So here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to switch x, y. Okay, you're going to switch x and y. All right, so f of x's points, I've got 3 of them. We have -2, 1, -3, 2, and we have -4, 4. So to switch them, this would be 1, -2, 2, -3, and 4, -4. Switch, switch. Okay, so 1, -2, 2, -3, and 4, -4. This is going to be, these two are connected with line segments, with a line segment, and this was connected with a curve. That's f inverse of x. Okay, I'm done.